Let me clean the cam. How's that?
Looks good. You look good. It's week
Week two, Glenn.
It's week
We're back
two.
at it.
We're doing another show. Chris W. said this was embarrassing. You threatened to quit.
Tremaine, I think, texted me and said I had too many hair flips. I went back and watched it. I didn't see any hair flips.
You can't keep quitting. You have a pattern here of this quitting. You know, we have to just power through. We did one show. We can do another.
I think that's the classic Norwegian way of looking at life. No matter how miserable it is, much reindeer meat you eat, you just keep powering through to the miserable end.
Why did you quit your last job?
They had one toilet for the whole office, and it was in the middle of the office. And it was...
Was there no fan in the office?
Of course not.
Kind of orange mist spray?
There was like an orange mister.
Yeah.
And the door was not a heavy-duty door.
And how many trips in the morning did you go in there?
Oh, well.
Before noon. How many trips before noon? 3?
Probably 2 to 3. I think bathroom location should be #1 priority when you're choosing an office.
In the mailbag this week, there were some questions about the price of our haircuts. Especially the two guys that don't have jobs are going out and getting $60 haircuts.
For what reason? You can't let yourself go. Maybe the rest of the league needs to catch up to us and maybe invest in their appearance a little bit more.
Today when I was at yoga, I decided to dedicate my practice to you, Jim. You know, as I had my hands to heart, they said to think of someone maybe in need, and I thought of you.
Well, I did have a little bit of a moment, I guess you could call it, earlier this week.
And I got a text from you that said,
I'm done.
The show sucks, and this is my last season.
Did you say a prayer on my behalf, or was it just good vibrations?
I gave you 3 namaste.
That took like 5 seconds. I mean, you know, I probably needed a few more.
Okay.
Let's look at the matchups for next week.
Let's take a look at the games, Jim. I know that you did a lot of research. You wrote up a lot. You have a lot of notes. Let's get to it.
Okay. First matchup is Bennett Brower versus the Chaunch Pack. Old rivals going back. Brower is 0-2. The Chaunch Pack 1-1. As we've talked about, there's some discrepancies in the Chaunch Pack's performance between last season and this season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, something's cooking.
Something's backing up.
Something's done. I have revamped, following your inspirational influence, I've revamped my lineup completely, made multiple changes at running back, wide receiver, defense. Looking at the Chaunch Pack's lineup, Devonta Freeman added at running back.
He just picked him up.
He just did it. Brower getting off the schneid, or Chaunch Pack in a critical Week 3 win to turn around his entire season. Glenn, what do you see?
Brower.
We got Coup de Gras versus Atomic Diesel. I think we need to start with a discussion of Andrew Luck.
Hey, you know what? Next year, fumbles, interceptions, there's no -1. Because, you know what? I would have won that game. I lost by 3.5 points. He had 4 turnovers.
I don't know. I'm asking you to pick your own win-loss here. How do you see it?
Oh, right. I'm going to win that game.
Aaron's Army versus the Bullies. Somehow, Aaron's Army is 2-0. Somehow. With players like Marcus Colston and T.Y. Hilton and Sammy Watkins. Those 3 receivers have combined over the first 2 weeks of the season. 3 receivers have combined over the first 2 weeks of the season for a grand total of 32 points. Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. I don't know about Teddy.
I'm going to that game. I'm going to
the game
on Sunday, yeah.
What's your prediction? You're giving this some thought.
I hate to say it, but I think the Bullheads are going to win.
Go off to a 3-0 start.
Yeah, I don't... What's even worse now, he only lives a few blocks away from me. It was bad enough when he lived in St. Louis, I had to hear how great his team was. Now he's like down the street.
Bullies in a romp. Big Ben, Tarkanian's trophy. I think Big Ben drafted C.J. Anderson. Probably takes the cake as the worst first-rounder through 2 weeks of the season. A grand total of 5 points. But Big Ben sticks with him, plugs him in the lineup. Looking across the aisle at Tarkanian's trophy. Eddie Lacy, questionable. Alshon Jeffrey, questionable. Jay Cutler, not behind center. Jimmy Clausen, starting at quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Roddy White, 0 points last week. His leading scorer, Danny Woodhead. How do you see this matchup panning out?
So this is the cousin match. How many times has Chris beat his cousin over the past few years?
He ever has.
I don't think he's ever beat him.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen this week either. Big Ben destroys Tarkanian Trophy this week.
Yeah. I think Tark is going to get boat raced by Big Ben.
You used boat race last week.
I did?
Yeah.
I like boat race. Next matchup, Swamp Dockies, Sack Smashers. Yep.
I'm going Sack Smashers.
This is a tough one. I think
Zach wants to win the league, and he's got to start now.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to say the Smashers in a romp. Finally, last game of the week. Brady's Revenge versus Carlos Danger.
Do we even have to say who's going to win that game?
Carlos Danger is in free fall. Forte, injured. LaShawn McCoy, injured. Andre Hopkins, injured. Linebacker, injured. Wow, it's a red line all the way down Danger's. Has Danger's picture been suspended by the league? There's like a blank thing there. This is going to be a trashing.
You got to take Brady's Revenge until they lose. Hey, has there ever been an undefeated season? Did someone ask that question last year?
I think somebody asked that question last year.
Who asked that question last year?
I don't remember.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Away.